Good afternoon, friends. Welcome into my channel today. My name is Sherry. I hope you're all doing well. If you are new, welcome. And if you're returning, as always, welcome back. It is a beautiful, well, somewhat windy, a little bit cooler day today, but the fall colors are absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful afternoon, and I wanted to bring you along in my craft room with me. We're going to work on a little project, and they're called a trifold in a trifold. I've made a few for examples, and we're going to go through together and make one and possibly do a little bit more decorating on my 3 examples. This was inspired by Maggie at Sunset Crafts and More, the symbol and not the word and, more on YouTube. I thought it was a funnest little idea, and I've really enjoyed making these. If you want to see how to do these, they're very simple. You don't need a whole lot of materials for them. They're just real easy. So grab a beverage, grab something to drink. I grabbed a glass of wine. It's afternoon. My chores are done. My dinner's ready to go in the oven. Decided I'd head to my craft room, grab a glass of wine, turn on my camera, and just have a little play with you guys. So these are so cute. So I've made 3 different ones, and you'll see this one's a little different in the front, and I'll tell you why. It was a mistake I made, so it's something we'll address in this video. But these are just super cute, super simple. It's a trifold. Let me get that out of the way. So it's a trifold. So here's your first trifold, right? And here's your second trifold. And that's the trifold inside the trifold. And you've got these cute little glassine bags. There's 5 of them connected together. Aren't they adorable? You can fill them with all kinds of ephemera, whatever you want to put in them. Couple of little tags and pockets here on either side. Mine are all done, and the one I'm going to work with you today on is in the Tim Holtz fashion. Back on this page, we have just a little notepad section where you've got a few pieces of paper to write, covered up with a little piece of material. And then on the back, again, you have another little side pocket with a little journaling card or tag in it. Looks like I need to re-glue that one, but I'll do that off camera. So that's all there is to it, guys. This one I put magnets on, so that's kind of fun. And as I said, you could embellish these more. Just play and have fun. This one is done basically the same way. It's got the trifold. I've got a side pocket with a tag there. This opens up, a couple of more tags, a couple of pockets. Again, your little glassine bags to fill up, another pocket, and a tag, fabric, little writing spot. This one I put Velcro on to close it. So either way works. And then we have a nice little tag and a side pocket back here as well. So yeah, like I said, you can really go to town decorating these up, or you don't have to. You can keep them pretty simple, pop them in a journal, and if somebody wants to add to them, they can. Or they're great, great for just Happy Mail. And then this is another one I've made. I realized I did not cut the little notches out here, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. It's quite all right. You don't have to. Again, a trifold within a trifold. I did not either put a magnet or Velcro on that one yet, but I will. So you just open it up. Again, opens up this way. You've got a little tag, a little side tuck, your trifold within a trifold, your little bags, your fabric with some little writing spots, and then another tag, pocket with a tag in the back. So if you think this looks pretty cool and you want to try making one with me, or just take some notes and watch, we'll go through one together. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. What you're going to need for this is your base is going to be 6 by 10. Now these are the Tim Holtz backgrounds and they're already cut 6 by 10. So you could take a 12 by 12 or anything you have. These are just light cardstock, but anything that is, you know, cardstock-ish, I would say. Cut it to 6 by 10. You're going to need 2. So your base, which is going to be your outside, is 6 by 10. You're going to be scoring that at 3.5 and 7. We're going to have 2 inside folds that are going to be our inside trifold. We're going to have some side tucks of fabric, inside pockets, and inside tags. So let's get started. All right, so I want this, put these out of the way. I want this as my base and my outside. Now this one, it doesn't matter, upside down, in, out, whatever. If it's directional or there's one specific area you want to fold around to be your front, that's where I messed up on the one pink one and it got a little bit shorter. So what I want you to do on the base, determine where you want the front. Like for example, if I was going to use this as the front, I would want this to be the front. So make sure that wherever you want your front of your trifold to be, that's where you're going to do your 3.5 inch score. And you're going to do your 7-inch score on what's going to end up being your back flap. But since I want this to be the front and it really doesn't matter, it's not directional or anything, I can just go ahead. Let me see if you guys can even still see me. Not very well. Sometimes not when I've got this big thing. So we're not going to use the scoreboard too often, but so our first score is going to go at 3.5. And our second score at 7. I can get this out of the way because we don't need it just yet. Oops. My printer's making noise over there. I just printed off a bunch of stuff and I guess it's still growling at me. Okay, so that's going to be my front. This is going to be my inside fold. So see, it covers it just really nice. So this now becomes the inside of my trifold. So now that we've got that established, we can sit this aside and we're going to do our inside folds. We're going to have 2 of those. That's what makes up this and this, and we glue them to the inside. So we're going to be cutting these right now, and what we need to cut these at is, I'm going to have to get this cutter. My other cutter on my scoreboard, the blade is really dull and it does not like to cut. So we want these to be 3.5 by 5.5. Yes, 3.5 by 5.5. So, did I? Yes. Okay. 3.5. So, okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, there's 3.5. 3.5. Okay. By 5.5. Which just takes a very little bit off when you do that. So there's one. Again, come in. We can do it this way so the writing, if the writing shows, it's right side up. Oops, I just dropped a scrap. So now we're going to go 3.5. Scrap. Perfect. By 5.5. And again, only a little bit is going to come off. And you're going to save this because you're going to make inside pockets with that. And save all your little scraps. I have a bag that I put all my little scraps in. Just going to set these off to the side here. And I'm going to grab my scrap bag for when I need it. I keep all of the little pieces of scraps from the project. Okay, so we've got those. And those are going to be scored. You're going to determine, let's just put that up there. You're going to determine, oh, good grief, guys. Holy moly. Could I make any more noise or drop any more things? Probably. These are going to be scored at 1 inch. They're going to be inside and they're going to fold. So the only thing you might want to do is make sure if you have a direction or any sort of words that you've got it going the right way. So this is going to be, oops, my front flap. I know I have another blade for this. I just have to find it. Okay, so this is going to be scored at 1/2 inch here because it's going to fold this way and get glued down. This little edge is going to get glued down. And then this one is going to fold over this way. So we want to score it over here, if that makes sense, so that when we put it in, it's going to be like so. Okay, so that is our main piece and our 2 inside fold. So those are your main pieces you get from those 2 pieces. You're going to be pulling from your scraps or other scraps to make pockets and that kind of thing. But why don't we right now, let's just go ahead. I'm going to round the corners on all 4 sides. I always forget to round the corners on my inside folds before I'm just going to round the 2 outside corners. I don't necessarily feel like that the inside needs to be rounded. Yeah, I don't think that matters unless you really want to fold them or round them, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up around here primarily so that I can see these lines right here and right here when I'm gluing down my inside trifold. I'm almost thinking it's time to buy a new Distress Oxide or possibly just a refill maybe. I know this one's not that old, but we do live in basically the desert and it gets very dry here, so things dry out quickly. Here, you're not really going to see much of it on here, but maybe just come along these edges. Okay, so inside we can see our lines, right? We can see our lines, so let's go ahead and just ink these. This is a really great little mass make project, or a fun little project you could do at a retreat or a little craft get together, because it really doesn't require a lot of materials or even a lot of paper for that matter. You know, you're not having to supply or bring along a huge amount of paper. So now that we've got these inked, let's go ahead and turn it this way. This is going to be my front flap because it's got the writing that direction. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Hopefully it's in happy condition because I was using it earlier, so shouldn't be too stubborn for us. So just take your glue, come along there, and what I want you to do is just set it right inside of the line you created with the vintage photo. I guess I didn't mention that it was vintage photo, but that's what it is. Okay, we're going to turn it this way. Same thing on this one. Just make sure your directions, pattern, whatever is going the way you want it. And again, just be as even as you can with your other piece. It doesn't have to be perfect because these are junk journals, right? So again, just press that down. Now we've got our inside flap. We can, and see, look, I was a little bit off on that, but that's okay. I didn't think I was that much off, but I was. But that's okay. We'll keep going. It doesn't matter. It all will work out. Okay? Now, what we can do, since we've got these insides, is determine if we want to use this for the pockets, or maybe check your stash, see what you have. Here's something that could possibly be a pocket. They don't have to match if you don't want them to. This might be a little bit small for a pocket, but it's a good one to hang on to for a tag. I know some of my scraps are on the smaller side now because I've been using them. So let's take a look and see what this guy is. He could make a small pocket, and you don't have to make them the same. You could make two. Make one small one and one big one. Let's do that. Just round those bottom corners. Make a little pocket here. Again, since we're just using scraps, it makes it super simple. Just a little notch here. Oops, gotta get my fingers out of the way. Okay, cute. You could even put something underneath that if you like. If you wanted to layer it. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I think that's a cute little pocket. So, like I said, play around with it. You make it your own. Make bigger pockets. Make littler pockets. Make tuck spots. Make it however you want. I just thought this was a great idea. Perfect for Happy Mail. In fact, I have some Happy Mail that I need to get sent out the end of this week. And I'd like to make one of these to send in that. However, it's going to have to be in a little different theme because the Happy Mail is fall themed. And I don't have a fall theme one made, but I could certainly do that. I'm just going to kind of go around on this paper here since we didn't really. And you could cover it up. You don't have to. Little pocket there. Little pocket there. Yeah, and if you mass make these, you could do like, say, do a bunch of bases. Maybe mark them so you don't get them confused, but maybe make a bunch of bases and then make a bunch of your inside flaps. Make a bunch of side tucks. Make a bunch of tags. Okay, so now we have that together, albeit a little crooked, but that's okay. And then in here on this side, we're gonna want a little side tuck of some sort. That is where we can decide, do we want, I just happen to have this sitting here. And I need to get a new thing of Tim Holtz cardstock because this is literally my last full sheet, literally from the pack. So I think it would be kind of fun. Well, that would be kind of a fun side tuck, don't you think? Where is my... There. Let's get this one out. I hope you can all still see me. Let's see. So our side, inside fold, okay, no. Our side tucks, sorry, need to be, we're going to want these to be 2 inches wide by 5 3/4 long. So 2 inches wide. I'm going to set that on my cart by 5 3/4 inches long. 5 3/4. Perfect. And these two are just about the same. This one just needs to be cut just a very slight amount. And then he would work as another side tuck. Save your little bits. You might need them. Okay, so these are going to be... Whoops. Whoopsie. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't worry. It's just my scoreboard's falling over. Okay, so these are going to be, one side tuck's going to go here and one is going to come back here. Unless we decide not to do that here and use this here. Because we could totally do either one. I'm thinking I'm going to choose this more neutral one for the back, but right here on the front side tuck, I want to use this one. I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm going to do a little notchy dude. Let's see, this guy is, what did we say, 5.5, so you know the drill. Go about halfway. See, right about there. It's good. Okay, so that's going to be our little side tuck for here. We can ink him up a little. Tell you, this goes together pretty quick, guys. Pretty darn quick. And then you're just going to glue your edges. Always go underneath and the back. Right along the edge as best you can. I'm trying not to put it down on my desk because I don't want to get glue on my desk. So then that's going to go right there. Okay, just like that. All right, we've got one side tuck in, and now this one we need to cut to the 2 inches by 5 3/4. 2 inches. 2 inches, another scrap by 5 3/4. 5 3/4. Okay. That little guy out of the way. We're gonna put him back here so we can round him over here. Here and here. Cut out our little finger notch. Eyeball it right at about halfway. goes on the back right here. You could also do this a pocket. You could do it a tuck. You could do it whatever you want. Get creative. And also adapt if you have to when you make a mistake and you're just kind of going on the fly. You can always change something up that way. Put that there. That's cute. That looks nice. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're still filming. My phone rang and I didn't want to stop filming to answer it. So, all right. So we've now got our back pocket in place, our front side pocket, our trifold in the middle with a couple of pockets. And now we've got a couple of strips we can work with here. So let's use this one for a tag for the front. We're going to do that at 5 inches. Right at 5. So we're not taking too much off. We'll double check it and make sure it's going to fit before we go any further with it, but it should fit. Yep, that's going to fit just perfect. So 5 by, this one happens to be 1 3/4. If it's a 2-inch tag, that works just as well. I know I like this one for the front, so let's go ahead and round these corners and ink a little bit. Ink and think, as Gail says. I don't really see it as too much on this paper, but oh, and you know what? I did that one. I didn't round this corner. So I did it upside down, but I really didn't because I didn't round that corner. So that one can slide in there. As I said, you can embellish more later. This is just building the base and putting a couple of little things of ephemera in to start with. So why don't we just cut this to 5 1/2. Is it 5? People keep calling me. 5 3/4 by 2. I think, no, 1 3/4. Oh geez, 1 3/4. No, by 2. Let's just do it by 2. 2 is an easy one to remember. We got it too tall. Yep, we've got it too tall. So now we've got to determine, this is just another scrap. We can put these over into the scrap bag. So we've determined that the length of these is best, these little tags, about 5 inches. Yep. 5 inches is our sweet spot on those. I went a little bit long. 5 by 2. Remember, 5 by 2, and that's a perfect size for your little inside tag or journal card, whatever you want to call it. Give it a little zhuzh, and we'll do a little bit more to these too. This is just sort of, well, that's actually kind of a cool little looking thing there. Happy accident. Maybe we'll go with that. Yeah, I think I like that. Perfect. And then this can go in here. Got that there. Nice, I like it. So now the only other things that we need are bags, glassine bags out here. This little guy could make a couple of nice tags. Why not? So what size do we need for this one? That one's just the perfect. Fits in really well, so I don't need to trim it down any. Maybe we could cut that one right at about that. Right there. Yeah, let's just do it this way. That can be a tag for the other side. go ahead and round these corners. Round the corners. And let's make them into little tags. It's hard to hold those little pieces. Used to doing it the other way. I don't know why I did it sort of opposite. I usually start on the right hand side. And the nice thing about this all being Tim Holtz, everything just goes together. So you really don't have to worry about that. So we've got a little tag here, taller tag here, and they fit, those little pieces fit in just right. So perfect. Now we can get our glassine bags in. Do 5. I got these on Amazon. I can try to leave a link for you below. They are 3 by 5.5. And I put 5 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could coffee dye these ahead of time if you thought about it in enough time to do so before you use them. You can ink around them. That's what I've done. You want to make sure that your openings are toward the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So let's just ink these up a little bit. I think they look a little bit nicer when they're inked. Gives you a chance to ink and think about decorations or what else you might want to do to them. But they ink up real quick. They're slippery little devils too, I'll tell you. I've really been having a lot of fun making ephemera lately for journals. I don't have a journal going currently. I just finished up my Christmas Joey card maker journal. Did a video on that. Thinking of some Christmas gifts. I know I've mentioned that before. Some themed journals. One would be a bee. One would be sea turtles. One would probably be some sort of dogs. And one would be a celestial one. So I have begun looking at the digitals for those. Okay, so these guys, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to glue them together. And it's important that you only glue, found this out the hard way, you only glue from your opening down and just go down the center. Go down the center. I'm gonna have to unplug my glue here. I've been talking and my lid's been off. So, little maintenance required here. Don't worry. We're fine. Can't believe how good my dogs are being. They're usually barking, carrying on, being fools. Okay. Strip down the middle and a strip down the side. Take your next bag and just try to line it up as best you can. It's hard because they're a little bit slippery. Again, just down the center and across the bottom. Stack your next one on there, straight as you can. So today's wine, craft and wine, is brought to you by Chardonnay. Sometimes when the weather gets cool, I like a red wine. But this was just quicker and easier because I had it open. All right, another. Well, now my dogs might bark because the school bus is dropping kids off. I can hear the school bus, so there probably will be some barking, and if it gets too loud, I'll shut the doors. We were lucky we didn't have gardeners today out back in the neighborhood. All right, so our bags are put together. 5 bags. Glassine, little glassine bags, and they fit just perfect right there. Perfect. So then I like to just come in, take this back one. You can give him a little bit more because it doesn't matter. Just don't glue the whole front of your bag. Otherwise your little bags will not want to accordion open for you. Stick them right in the middle. Like so. Let them grab hold. And then you can see you've got your, and then this is where you might want to check too, make sure nothing got glued together that you didn't want glued. So yeah, see, there our little bags pop open. Super cute. That's what that one's got to be glued. Just a little right there. Just a little tiny piece. Okay, so we've got that in place. Our last element really is our fabric piece back here. I think I'm gonna tear it down just a little because my other one was just a little bit wide. And I don't mind that it's fringy. I like it like that. So you could clean up the strings a little if you need to, but you don't have to. You could leave it rather rustic. Probably take it just a little shorter. This is just some old, I used to make tea towels like for craft shows, and with my Cricut I would put, you know, stuff on it and cute little like farm house or whatever, you know, just little vinyl things. And so I have a lot of tea towels left over, and I just coffee dye them from ones I didn't sell or ones I kept. And I just coffee dye them and use them for that. Okay, I'm just gonna tear. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. And then this, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get my scoreboard just because I like to score this just a little bit because, and on these topper things, I just use scraps. Whatever I have, in this case, it's about 3/4 of an inch. I'll just score right at about half. Just gives me something to fold over. But basically, I just grab a scrap, and whatever scrap works is what I use. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay, and then we just fold it over. Put the smaller side on toward the back, and the bigger side toward the front. And then this is where you'll grab some sheets of paper. That looks to be about a good height. Get our tear ruler. One. I'm not very precise, you guys, as you can see. There's a lot of about this big and about this size and about here, about there. Okay. So we can take these pieces of paper, and what I would do is take and glue. Take one, just give it a little glue. Put one, you can vary the size of these, you can vary the papers. Whoops. Give another little squirt of glue here, art glitter glue. All you're doing is creating just a little tiny writing pad, and then come in with your tiny little strip here. Put glue on, glue the back, fold it over here, glue the back, so you're gluing your paper down. And then you want to glue, take your material, pop it up here, fold that over, slide it over if you want. You're going to glue this down to your fabric or whatever you choose to put here. It doesn't have to be fabric. Just make sure that takes hold while we have a sip. You could even embellish a little more with, if you want to put like a little strip of sari silk or something on here. If you have something that's the right color handy that you think would add a little interest. I put a lot of sari silk on stuff. I just like the way it looks. Guess I like the rawness of it. It's not going to add a lot of bulk either. It's just going to add some fun little texture to it. Just stick it on there like it is. This last batch of sari I got is really twisted compared to my other sari silk that I bought. So it's very twisty. And then now what you do is you just come in, glue that to your page, and you've got your little writing paper. Cute and ready to go. With an extra little embellishment with your little piece of sari silk. You could put some bling on there if you want. You don't have to. I think this is shaping up really cute. Now, one thing I would, so I got my bags over just slightly, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. We'll make it work. It's because I got that a little bit. You know, things don't always go according to plan, but it's okay. We make it work, right? Let's think about this. Do we want magnet or do we want Velcro? I kind of like the magnet, so let me grab the magnet just for this one, and I'll show you how I did it. Oh, I'm gonna have to call my husband. He's trying to call. Let me call him and I'll pick back up. All right, guys, I'm back. It was the second time he called, so I was a little bit concerned to make sure everything was okay, but it was fine. He just wanted to let me know he was on his way home early because he had to pick up tires for work, and he would be home early if our friends wanted to do any kind of a ride. So the way I did my magnets, now I'm going to work on it a little bit and see how I can cover them. Because I don't know, the way I found best when I used it before was to try to place my magnet. Oh, these are thick. They always, or did they go back together? Because they're so crazy strong. Is I would glue. Okay, so I glue my magnet, right? Get a fair amount of glue on there. Take and put it right there. Whoa, it's slipping. And after I gave it a minute or so to set up, I put just like a dot of glue on that side, flipped it over, touched this page just enough so that I could see where to place my other magnet. Yeah, I guess I did just get the two. They just must have stuck back together. Because that was the only way I could figure out how to do that. So if I go like that and I just barely touch it, pick up my glue, then I sort of know that that's where I need to glue this one. And it seemed to work pretty good on the other one. So then I just pop it right there, let them dry, kind of get the glue. I can wipe the glue off that one a little better when it's dry, but that should, looks like, oh, it's gonna pull because of the polar thing. So you could wait and do that last if you wanted, so that you had time for it to dry. But what we can do while that's drying is we can grab this little tag, and we're gonna put on we're just gonna make a little tab for it. Show you, it's pretty easy. Make a little tab, and then I'm just gonna glue it like maybe right there, and we'll put a little punch in it. We could distress it a little. That's just gonna be a little tab for that particular little tag. Oops. I like it's got a little number 75 on it. That's cute. Okay. Get this. Put that on there. And take my crocodile. Well, I'll tell you, if we do go out for a side-by-side ride tonight, if the guys want to go do any more quail hunting, we did yesterday, we're going to have to dress warm because we head up into the mountains and the temperatures get kind of chilly-ish. So I just poked a little hole in there with that, and I'm going to grab, I have some small eyelets. See if I can find a black one. Is that black? No, sometimes I think it's black. Oh, yep, that's black. That'll work. I have a bunch of them, but I just put them in that little tray thing. So I'm gonna put a little eyelet right here. Give it a little squeeze with my crocodile so that we have our eyelet set there. Ooh. That one squished a little. I don't think this is the right size eyelets for my crocodile, but I can't use my big ones, and I don't want to use my big ones because I use those on the journal, so that's why I got like 200 of those little ones. And then what I do here is I'm going to take one of these little pins and let's do a charm, because I did keys on a couple of them. So let's do a little charm. See what we can find. I've got to get a little box, have my husband find me or save me a little tin that I can put these in. There's a little owl. There's a tree of life, a little fairy, a little foot, bow, birthday, clock. Oh, that little clock would be cute. Let's do that little clock. So yeah, I need to get something to put these in so that they're easier for me to access. Okay, back up in my little drawer they go. And we can take, and let's try to find a black or rusty. Let's try to find a rusty one. Yeah, I like those the best. Let's see if we can get by with just doing it this way. Punching it, the hole that it left is not that big, but kind of closed it up a little, but I think it'll go through. That one was kind of a wonky one. And if it doesn't want to stay, that's okay. Oh, it went out. Then I poked myself. Okay. So then you just have a little, if I can get it back down. This one kind of went a little bit tight, so I might have to think of something else because the eyelet got a little bit squished. So let's see if we can't do this a little different direction. See if that will work for us. I really like the little clock guy. He's cute. Usually those eyelets don't squish like that. I don't want to push it out. This one's really giving me trouble. Okay, that eyelet came out. Maybe let's just do it this way for today, and I'll go back in and fix it later. So there, then you have a cute little, I'm gonna throw that one away because it got squished. But you've got a cute little thing that sticks out out here with a little charm on it, right? And then let's see how we did on our magnets. Oh, did we not meet them up? What's happening? My other ones worked. Did they have to be a certain way? That's weird, because my other ones worked just fine. Why didn't those work when these worked? See? These work just fine. Those worked. Pull it off and turn it over. Oh, there we go. That's the problem. I had it needed to be the other direction, I guess. Wants to be the other direction, so all right, we will put it the other direction. Problem solved. Now, while that one dries, I'm going to make, I think I'll put something in here. Oh, see, and it even clicked then, but I didn't want it to pull it up. We're gonna make a little something for here and just kind of take a look at what we did, and that'll be it for this video. And then maybe in another video we'll get back to maybe we'll embellish them a little bit more, but that basically just gives you the idea of how you make these, and then we can further decorate them in another video. Where did those go? Those go right there. There we go. All my mini drawers. Okay. Now let's see what we might want to put here for a tab. There's not too much left to cut out of. Didn't think that would still, but that's good to know. If I cover it up with paper, it's still gonna work. So I could make a tab. What could I make a tab with? Oh, you know what would be pretty? Okay, we're just going to get into this pad of paper here, if we can. Easier said than done, right? But I thought it might be kind of cool just to make a couple of, make a tab with that black. Okay, 2 black tabs. See, then you can take this and just start doing all kinds of things. You just do and do and do and do and do whatever you want to do. This is going to go on the front. So what I'm going to take is about like this. Come up here. Put it right there. Take this one. And that was my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch that I used to punch these. There we go. That's on there. That looks cute. That's my paper towel. I don't know that we would necessarily see anything on there because of the black. If we were to put a stamp or something on there. But it looks like our glue is set. And now we click. Oh, but we pulled it up so it wasn't really set. Okay. I'm gonna have to give it more time to dry, guys. Hope I get it on the right side again. So I'm just going to set that there, let it dry, and again, we'll come back in another video very soon, and we'll do a little bit more embellishing to these and see how we like them. But anyway, guys, I thought this was a super fun project. I really enjoyed doing it, and I can see making many, many more of these for many journals in many, many, many styles and themes. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification so that you don't miss another upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Take good care. Bye.